The 2020 pandemic was the worst event in human history because it affects us all on the planet. It's also the mark of the ongoing down of civilization, because of the rejection of the very principle on which civilization is and needs to be built. Principle of reality, human nature, natural law, rejection of magical thinking. There is a cause for this, and it is called collectivism. The return, as a definition, the return in a modern form of primitive tribalism. But there is a discrepancy between today's tribalism and that of our ancestors. It's a sick tribalism, which has for signature purification, taking many forms from cancel culture, segregation, confinement, dehumanization, and in the very end, genocide. All of this is hidden behind dangerous ideologies like the Nobel savage and pseudo-scientific justification, which are nothing less than applied shamanism. In that sick world, emotions are the new unity for any measures. Hi, my name is Jean-François Maquinet, and I wrote an open letter to the European Parliament. Open means here, open to everyone. It's not specific to their representative. Its origin about collectivism, and its origin, its doctrine, its objective, how those who adhere to it have fought and defeated civilized people for the last 300 years. Yes, we have been defeated. We have been told to believe that it was a political question, left versus right, a matter of social justice and wealth distribution. When we were asleep, some were working to change the texture of reality. This is a clash of civilization, a clash about what it means to be human. But being human is to be civilized, not to live in fear. Fear is not like all other emotions. It is also an access door to our reward system, to reprogram it. Not like normally for civilized people, the reward system is controlled by our cognitive function. We think, therefore we exist. Fear deactivates that control and then reprograms our reward system to obey the authority that controls our fear. To stop the nightmare in which we now live, we have to control our fears, to get back control to our reward system and then our cognitive function to be able to think again, to think freely and to be free. During this pandemic, we all have witnesses not only the dramatic loss of our liberties, but also the cognitive dysfunction of those we call neighbors, friends, and family. A third of humankind, educated guess, perhaps more, cannot reason properly anymore, and we can save them. Too late. Building a civilization is not a project amongst many, but the result of our civilization. Nature, at some point in the timeline of our development, has decided that our cognitive function have to take over our instinct. While keeping our instinct, we have become cognitive creatures by nature. But to develop those functions, we need to go through a maturation process. We are born primitive and we become civilized. That maturation process consists of the reprogramming of the reward system to favor our cognitive function over our instinct. That process takes time. And here lies our weakness. Collectivists intervene soon in the development of the mind to perturb and stop people to become civilized. And their first target is education and the children. They don't care about them. No. They are only puppets. Will become soldier, the armed soldier of the collective. The second is to bring society to antagonize men because they are the natural bearer of knowledge and reason, allowing them to build viable future for all. There is no go back. We cannot become again the primitive we were. We are not biologically adapted to do this. There is the belief that it is possible, but it's not possible. There is no renaissance of our tribal path. Without our cognitive function, we are sick, ill-minded. We sink into madness because our brain cannot process, even apply basic logic to any information, and this leads to its inability to make sense of the world around. So we rely on an elite that tells us what to do and to think. They become demigod, but they do not wish us good, for we are only cattle for them. Well, the analogy with sheep is literally, has to be taken literally. We are sheep. The end result of that path, the attempt to return to our primitive self, the primitive tribe and its alpha herd hierarchy, is collective madness, which sooner or later turns into a cult of death, with its need for purification. You are not on the right side, we are on the good side. Bye bye. Mass murdering follows, and people will welcome it as part of the process of life.